Hey guys, welcome back to PowGang. So normally when I review cubes, I review good cubes, like in this video. Or budget cubes, like in this video. But today, I'm going to change all of your guys' minds. And you probably know where I am going because you have already read the title and seen the thumbnail. But anyway, today I'm going to review the worst cube ever made. And if you think about it, there's a lot of good speed cubes out there. But I'm not just talking about speed cubes, I'm talking about any cube that's a Rubik's Cube. So it can be 2x2 through 7x7, and it can be any cube. And most of you guys know that Rubik's brand cubes are terrible. But which one? Rubik's makes models 2x2 through 5x5, and I've decided I have found the worst one of all of them, and that is the Rubik's brand 4x4. Now, I don't really know anyone who is a fan of the Rubik's brand 4x4. It doesn't even come close to any other cubes. And if you take the Meilong 4x4, which is the best budget 4x4, and compare it, in size at least, it is a lot bigger, and I'm going to compare this one with the Rubik's brand 4x4. Now, if you guys were wondering about the Rubik's brand 3x3, which I have right here, with a lot of practice and setup, this cube can turn out to be pretty good. Now, it won't be as good as my main right here, which can turn amazing, but it still is pretty good after a lot of setup. Now, as you can see, it's very loud and scratchy, and I would recommend the best budget 3x3 as the Qi Thunderclap. I'd say that would be the best budget 3x3. But this thing is a little bit louder, and it's like you have to use more force. But still, with some practice, this thing can turn out to be pretty good. Now, I wouldn't recommend using it. There's the Qi Thunderclap, as I mentioned before, that's a lot better. But that's why I didn't choose the Rubik's 3x3, and that's mostly the same for 2x2. Now, to get onto the 4x4, it is very obvious why this is the worst 4x4, and the worst cube of all time. It has so many lockups. Here is a picture of a lockup on this cube when I once was using it. And now we'll test out the corner cutting. Well, back to the lockups, this thing, you need it to be exactly perfect to turn. So if it was like this, and then like the rows were like misaligned a bit, it would not turn without like too much force. But like if I do that on this Meilong 4x4, this is just fine. It turns perfectly compared to this cube. And the other thing is, like the 3x3, which I have right here, it's very loud and scratchy. So as you can see, this is probably hurting your ears, so I'll stop. But it is very loud. And so I'd say the first reason why it's pretty bad is because of the corner cutting. Its corner cutting does not work, and that's the same with the lockups. Like, it can't even cut there. Now, the 3x3 is okay. The 3x3 can cut with some force about there, but this thing can hardly cut. It can't even come close to the first line, so that is why I don't like it. The other thing I don't like about it is that the centerpiece, as you saw in my on my picture with the lockup, the centerpieces move around a lot. So the centerpieces move around a ton, and that's also why the corner cutting is bad, because as you can see, each of the pieces are square. Now, if you take this Meilong 4x4, as you can see, they're rounded for a reason. So it can corner cut better, and it's smoother. Now on this, they're all square. So that is another reason why the corner cutting is terrible. It's mostly square on this one. There is a bit of rounded edges, But then again on my main, they're very rounded and it can corner cut amazing. The one thing that is strange about this cube is that its slice moves are like very quick compared to the other turns. So this is a slow like on the outside, but the slices are very loose. And like on the Meilong, they're just smooth like the outside, and like they're about the same on the Meilong 4x4. But on here, the slices are very loose. And I mean, I probably would want to check out the core, but I don't really feel like building this thing up because of the different technology. That would take a while. But this thing cannot just do really anything to be good. Like, this thing really isn't good. And I don't know anyone who would be a fan of this. If I were to tell you what to do, I'd just say get the Meilong 4x4 if you don't want to spend too much money. It is for $6.95 on speedcubeshop.com, so just get the Meilong 4x4. That's what I'd recommend doing. Now, the other thing is the price. Like I just mentioned, this is the Meilong 4x4, and this thing is amazing, and it's $6.95 on SpeedCube Shop, which is amazing for under $10, and it is widely considered as the best budget 4x4 because of just how smooth it is, and it's a bit small. But the thing is, this puzzle is $20. Yeah, that is a big reason why this is a very bad cube. You can get this on just about any website. Obviously, SpeedCube Shop doesn't sell this puzzle because, one, it does not classify as a speed cube, so it wouldn't be sold on SpeedCube Shop, and that's the same with the Rubik's Brain 3x3. But this cube is just, like, way too expensive for the price, so no one would really want to buy this. Now, I won't tell you how this cube got into my hands, but this cube is way too expensive, and it should be a lot cheaper. It is $20, depending on the website you can get it on. It probably is on Amazon that you can get it, because you can't get it really on any cube stores that are good. So this thing is $20, and to give you a bigger picture, you can get the YJ MGC, which is an amazing 4x4, for the same price as this big boy. This guy is very bad, and the MGC, if you want to spend $20 on a puzzle, the MGC is probably your best option. Here's a picture of it and its pricing. So the MGC is an amazing cube, and that's what I would recommend buying if you want to spend $20 on a puzzle that is good for 4x4, because the MGC is probably the best $20 4x4 out there. So I'd say get the MGC if you want to spend that much. So in terms of times, I average on the Meilong 4x4 over a minute faster than on here. And for 4x4 in the event, it's not really, it's a pretty big speedy event. It's not like 7x7, for example, where you can average over a minute on one cube than another. But for 4x4, it is one of the events. It is good to get times like under 2 minutes. And if you are really competitive, it's good to get under 1 minute. But for this cube, to say I average a minute over my times on this cube, that is 1/3 of the price of this cube. That has to say a lot, because my times on the Meilong 4x4 are a lot quicker than on this cube. So that goes back to my point before. Just get the Meilong 4x4. It will help you guys do so much better than getting the Rubik's Brain 4x4. Now, there is also the Rubik's Speed Cube, which is when Rubik's and GAN team together to make a Rubik's Speed Cube. I don't have it. It really isn't that popular, but they have a 2x2 and a 3x3, and here are the pictures of them. So I don't know if Rubik's is going to make a 4x4 with GAN. That would probably be good if they want to improve their 4x4s. But also GAN isn't the top for 4x4. Like GAN makes my main for 3x3 like this. So GAN has all good 3x3s. And they're decent for 2x2. Their 251M is okay. But it's not like the Volk, the MGC Elite, or the Tenyan. So, I mean, it can compare. It's probably in one of those top categories. But for 4x4, Moyu is dominating that event. And the Volk is also pretty good. But there's the Moyu Aosu GTS2M. And there's also the Moyu Aosu WRM. And those two cubes are mostly dominating 4x4 for the best mains. So if Rubik's wanted to make a good 4x4, they might want to either team up with Moyu or just make it another version where they totally make a different one from this. So now I'm going to do a T-perm for you on the Meilong 4x4 and then on this 4x4 just to show you how quick they are. So this is the Meilong 4x4. And it is still budget, so it isn't too quick, but I can finish it in under, I'd say about 5 or 4 seconds if I do it quick. And since this is a budget cube, it still doesn't really compare to like the top line cubes where you can do it under 2 seconds or 1 second. But here is a T-perm on the Rubik's brand 4x4. As you can see, I'm trying to do it quick, but since the center pieces are loose, you couldn't really do it too quick. And then the corner cutting doesn't work. And then when it does cut, as you can see, these really loose middle slices keep turning like that. So this thing can just not really do anything good. So if you are just watching this part, just get the Meilong 4x4. That's what I've been saying the whole video, because the Meilong 4x4 is so much better than this old puzzle, I guess. I mean, if Rubik's wanted to make a better puzzle for 4x4, I wouldn't think it'd be too hard to make something better than this, because if you see all of the cubes that have ever been made, this is probably the worst mass-produced cube ever made. So I just want to throw this one in the trash because of how bad it is. It really isn't that good, and I would just recommend not getting the Rubik's brand 4x4. So the last reason why I think this is bad is because there's no tensioning system. As you can see for the Meilong, if you just spread it apart like that, that has a pretty nice tensioning system that's pretty average for 4x4. All the 4x4 speed cubes have a pretty good tensioning system where you have the screw and you can just tension it normally. But the Rubik's brand doesn't even have a tensioning system. I'd probably loosen it if I could, but because it is so strangely designed, I guess, this thing doesn't even have a tensioning system, and you can't even really see the insides of this cube because it is such weirdly designed. And if you were to take it apart, I really wouldn't know how to because of what is on the inside. There probably is a way, and it probably could force it to fall apart, but I really don't know how to because on the Meilong, what you do is you just loosen it or you just take an edge out like that, but I really don't know how to do it on this Rubik's brand 4x4. So that basically sums up my thoughts on the video. If you're looking for a budget 4x4, get the Meilong 4x4. Just about any cuber knows and can figure out that the Rubik's brand 4x4 is the worst. Even though it's called a Rubik's Cube, Rubik's brand makes the worst puzzles. So I'd just say get the Meilong 4x4. And if you're a beginner and you're looking to get a 4x4, just get the Meilong. Don't bother on this puzzle because of how bad it is. And just about any cuber out there will tell you that Rubik's brand puzzles are the worst. So just get the Meilong 4x4 if you're looking for a good 4x4. And for 3x3, I'd recommend the Thunderclap. If you're looking for a Rubik's brand 2x2, I'd say the YJ Yupo V2M. And there also is 5x5s. And if you want to see all of my best budget cubes, so my opinions for the best budget cubes that are 2x2 through 7x7, the link will be in the description. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching me tell you guys how bad this Rubik's brand 4x4 is. Make sure to check out our other content and be sure to subscribe and check out our other things on our channel.